Hey folks, welcome to your weekly dose of live guitar chat and stuff. Welcome to Chord Dave Live. It's episode number 61, which is quite phenomenal. Anyway, cheers to you. I'm drinking some free strap locks, and yeah, it's been a wild year. We're at the end of it. This is the last Chord Dave of this live of this year. So cheers. Let's talk about guitars and stuff, and sláinte. All right, cool. Oh yeah, I'll take down the countdown timer as well. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everything is good with you. Good to see so many of you folks in the chat already nice and early. Good to see it. Yeah, so let's just talk about it because we don't have an awful lot to talk about this week. There hasn't been a lot of news that I found interesting, which is kind of what makes it onto the channel. But just in case you missed it, this video right here has just premiered on the channel. How to spend $1,300 on guitars if you missed out on the Adam Jones, Epiphone, Les Paul, or if you just want to spend $1,300 on guitars. I gave you 5 options, and I think some of them are pretty cool. Yeah, in fact, I was looking through these, thinking, "Damn, I should probably buy one of those." So yeah, check it out, and if you haven't seen it, watch it. It's in its entirety. It's a fun video. I liked it. I might be biased. I don't know. Anyway, let's dig into chat. See how we're getting on. Don't forget to hit all those buttons: the like, the subscribe, the join the club, all those ones. It's all good. Scott was here first. He always is. Don't know how he does it. I think he waits on Saturdays to see when we're going live. But we appreciate it, Scott. Thanks for joining us so early, as you always do. And Ryan says, "Damn it," presuming because he wanted to be here first. Next time, Ryan, I won't let Scott know when we're going live. Grandpa Joe says, "Hello, Scott, Dave, Scott, and Ryan. Wishing everyone here who will be here a very Merry Christmas and a blessed New Year." Indeed, Grandpa Joe, always great to have you, and the same wishes to you, my friend. Yeah, it's been cool getting to know you this year, so thank you so much for that. Ryan says, "Hey Joe, how's things everyone? I broke my thumb, so I'm trying to convince someone to help me cut the part of the cast off so I can play guitar." Oh man, that sucks. Hope you are doing all right with that. Yeah, that is not a good thing. So many people have injuries this time of year. I was talking to a work colleague who injured her arm in a similar way. She's not a guitar player. We were just talking about it, and I was like, "Yeah, I did that years ago." Also, it was a frustrating time. Richard Clark says, "Just setting notifications so I don't forget while I'm working on my truck in sub-zero weather." I wanted to see who was waiting and had less of a life than me. Well, Richard, me probably. Just sitting around all day waiting for Chord Dave Live. What a fun time I had. Right, says, "Look no further, Richard." Yeah, no, listen, I think the people who come early are the best. Yeah. I'm just not going to make any more comments with that. That sounded like a rude comment. Anyway, Mars is here. Good to see you. Mars says, "With all this TCD, I don't know where the tailgate party is located." It's somewhere, I haven't been invited to it yet, but yeah, you guys at one point were asking me to do a pre-show for the live stream. So I've experimented a couple of times with putting the Saturday video or the weekly video at this point on just before the live stream. The last time I did it, the video got 30,000 views. So yeah, or was it 10,000 or something? It got a lot of views. So it was worth doing. So this week I thought I would do. Actually, I'll tell you the story. So I sat down to record that same video on Tuesday. And I recorded it and it was done. It took me 3 takes. Very happy with it. And then it turned out that my microphone wasn't turned on. I had turned it on. It just, the battery had run out. So I was like, all right, I got to charge it. I'll record it tomorrow. It's totally fine. So Wednesday came along and I recorded the video, having charged the microphone, and the receiver had cut out. So it took me about 4 or 5 takes again to get where I was happy with it. So that was Wednesday. I charged the receiver. And then on Thursday, I was busy. And then Friday, I got to record it and it went up on Patreon yesterday. And then it's up today on YouTube. Crazy how not charging stuff can happen. Anyway, We don't need to charge stuff for 3 Chord Dave Live, so it's all good. It was a fun one. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video if you watched it. Mark said, we're all going to have to move the party over to the other video and then come back here. Well, guess this is my exercise for today. I guess I'm in the part of the chat before the premiere of the other video. Well, glad you checked it out. Anyway, that was all good. Now the one that's airing in a few minutes. Yes, that's the one. So yeah, you were watching that. All goods. Oh, cause you be one of those paying Dave for early Glory Hole membership, huh? I will say Ryan is the only one in the Patreon, and I do appreciate it so much because he's the only one who loves me, and I'm aware of that. It's fine. Don't worry. I love you too, Ryan, and the rest of them mean nothing to me. I'm just kidding. Y'all mean something. But yeah, hit that subscribe button on the Patreon. That'd be cool. Scott says, does anyone remember Mel Farr Superstar with the Ford dealership in the 80s? No idea what that is. Sounds interesting. Maybe there's a story you can tell us. Let me see. Scott, Cushman NYC is here. Cool. Says, hey Scott, cheers buddy. Cushman, always great when you pop in. Glad to see you, my friend. Ryan says, sorry Marcia, the Pelham SG Blue SG is cool. It is indeed. It is very cool. I love it. Ben Allmark's here. Good to see you, Ben. Says hello everyone. I hope you're well. I think Dave, this includes you. Thanks, Ben. I appreciate that. Cushman says, waiting for our fearless leader. I don't know about fearless, but yeah, I'm not fond of heights, for example. I'm fine. I'll survive, but not fond of them. Marty, you mean Lord Glory Hole of Trugdalia? Anyways, glory holes for everyone. No, Ben, not for everybody. Sorry, I have to put my foot down there. Some folks do not get, anyway, rolling on. Some folks, don't want to be at the, anyway. Ryan asks, any new gear this week? Not for myself. No, my guitar buying of 2022 is over. I'm pretty sure. 98% sure. Like at least 84% sure. Eddie Kidd is here, says hi, hello. Good to see you, Eddie. Hope you're well. And Glenn Bailey is here, supporter of the year. Says, hello, my family of misfit players. We love you, Glenn. Thanks for dropping in. Always good to see you. Guys, if you didn't see this, Glenn is trying to take over YouTube. And I fully support him. Let me see if I can get you his link. It's on Instagram. I can't because it's I'll get it. I'll put it in. I'll find some way to get it to you guys. But yeah, Glenn has a YouTube channel. He did an unboxing this week. It was very cool, Glenn. So well done. And I hope you all check it out for him and give him a like and a subscribe and stuff. Where's all my stuff gone? There it is. Yeah. So yeah, good to see you, Glenn. Thanks for dropping in. Grandpa Joe says happy holidays to you, Marcia. Indeed, happy holidays no matter what you're celebrating next week. Don't forget, guys, just in case you're wondering, why are you saying happy Christmas this week? So we're taking 2 weeks off from 3 Chord Dave Live after this week. So after today, we won't be back until, what is it, like the 7th of January? Something crazy like that. Let me look at the calendars, see what we're doing. So we're off this week, we're off next week. Yeah, give me January there, please. January 7th. Yeah, so wow. It feels like a long way away when you say January 7th. It's actually just 3 weeks away. But yeah, we'll be back then with a bigger, better 3 Chord Dave Live experience. Or at least another 3 Chord Dave Live experience. We'll see how it goes. The show might change a little bit in the new year. It didn't change much at all this year, but we'll see. We'll see. It might change. Anywho's, Glenn says, hello, Grandpa Joe, Marcia, Richard, Fast Eddie, Kid, and everyone. Fast Eddie, that is probably Paul Newman's best role, although Paul Newman had a lot of great roles. So anyways, loving the Fast Eddie. Daniel Tilleroo's here, says emotional damage. Yeah, there's a lot of that going around. I feel you. Scott says, clone Harley Benton Bogfoot 30, HB BF 30 in pale white. I feel like there's more to that you need to add. Al's here says, hey gang, happy holidays. Good to see you, Al. Wishing you well, my friend. Thanks for dropping in so much this year. It's been cool hanging out with you on a Saturday and in the comments and stuff like that. So thanks, Al. Thanks to all you guys. I do appreciate all the support. By the way, it's all cool. Ben says, I just bought a used Marshall SV20 from L&M. Tell me it's a great amp, fellas. I don't physically have it yet. I believe it's the best amp, to be honest. The best amp that money can buy. Although it's not the best amp that M&Ms can buy. So there is that. But no, SV20s are pretty cool, I think. Yeah, I haven't heard anything negative about them, to be quite honest. But others can let you know. I've never played one personally, so hopefully someone here has and can tell you. Lots of cheers and hello and good to see you. D-Mac is here. Good to see you, D-Mac. Ryan Burns says, I got a pink ukulele. They're the best ones. I think I still have a picture of if I can get this, actually, this would be cool. Scroll through thousands of pictures that are just crazy from travels and stuff. I have a picture of a Flying V ukulele. I don't know where it's on this device or if it's saved somewhere else. I think I sent it to Muddy H2O recently, so he should have it. I presume he saves all the pictures I send him. I don't know. Anyway, it's there somewhere. I'll find it and have it for another show. But yeah, pink ukulele. Why not? If you're going to have a ukulele, it may as well be pink. Anne is here. Good to see you, Anne. Hope all is well with you. And always good to see you. Thanks for dropping in. Ryan says, a Christmas gift for my niece. Yeah, sure, Ryan. Whatever. No, I'm sure it is. And she will love it. That's a cool thing to do. Michael Treskin's here. Good to see you, Michael. Hope all's well with you, my friend. Al says, bought a pink ukulele for my granddaughter. There you go. A lot of pink ukulele sales this week, which is cool. It's cool for a pink ukulele salesman. Yeah, awesome. Good to see you all. A lot of folks coming in. Matt Van Bosch is here too. Good to see you, Matt. Hope you're well. Penn says, I'm going to start calling Dave Late Dave. Hey, man. This is my show, and I put a timer up to how long I'm going to be, and it's always the same length. so there you go. Just be aware that it's what happens around here. What's this going on here? Muddy H2O, what a gent, comes in and says, I have tons of pics of Dave's pink ukulele. He does, but he won't show you them. Thank you for the super chat, sir. I do appreciate it so much. You're super generous and kind, and I'll say nothing about your pink ukulele. It's all good. It's all good. We'll keep that to ourselves. Michael says, let's all hit the like button and give Dave some positive self-esteem for Christmas. Indeed. That would be great. Thanks, Michael, for that. Yeah, hit all the buttons, guys. Hit all the buttons. It is important, and apparently YouTube likes it when you do that. And hey, we all live in the YouTube world, right? Eddie Kidd says, drink. All right. I'm not gonna like just drain the whole thing, but whatever. All right, let's see what we got. Micah's here. Good to see you, Micah. Hope you are well. I believe it's Sunday for Micah as well. So Micah, we do appreciate you popping in on your Sunday. If I'm correct, I think I'm correct. Maybe I'm mixing you up, but I think so. 3 minute late, Dave. What the hell, Glenn? I take everything I said about you back. Guys, don't go and check out Glenn's video. And don't give him a subscribe. Give him an unsubscribe. A minus subscribe, in fact, if such a thing happens. You know what? Every time somebody says something that annoys me, I'm just going to do this. There we go. I really hope you guys can hear that. I think you can. And Daniel says, it's Dave. It is, unfortunately. I tried to get someone else to do the show on a Saturday, but they just weren't interested. Ryan says, probably got his Santa hat stuck in the door. That has happened to me before, yeah. So 3-chord Trogley. I mean, it's an upgrade for him, I think. Benny Larson's here. Good to see you, Benny. Hope all is well, my friend. Yeah, always great to see you, Benny. Andrew Collins says, just got my Squire purple Strat. Love that guitar. Very cool, Andrew. Yeah, had a purple Strat myself a little while ago, but then did of course get rid of it and regretted it. But hope you love it. I hope you keep enjoying it and loving it. That's super cool. Let me see. Cushman says, "Hey Dave." Hey Cushman. Always nice to see you then. And he says, "Yeah, don't forget to take your free strap locks." Yeah, for sure. That's literally what my thought process was in the store. I was like, "Oh, any new strap locks? That's good." I have about 40 of them lying around somewhere, so just as another excuse to buy it. Ben says, "That's a great beer. If it's what I think it is it Grolsch?" It is. Yeah, it is. It's the fancy bottle with the rubber thing on it for the strap locking. And Joe Bonamassa says he uses it and those for strap locks and they work. So works for Joe, then you know it's good. Scott has a link there for the AJ Alternatives. Indeed. Actually, I want to share a link with you as well. It's my brother's YouTube channel. He just did a review of the new Avatar movie on his YouTube channel. We went to see it yesterday, and it was a movie. I don't know if that's something you're interested in, if you're interested in movies. But if you want to find out about the movie before going to see it, you can watch that video, and he'll tell you all about it. And he's very kind. Before he gives a spoiler away, he says there's a spoiler coming. So, you know. It'd be super cool, though, to get him up to 700 subs, guys. So if you haven't subscribed to Carl's channel, head over there and subscribe. Please, that would be a super cool thing you could do for me. Money H2O says, "Every time you hear that sound, another Lord has been born." That's true, actually. But actually, the other thing that's born is a sheep. Yeah, so, you know, anyway. Eddie says, it is a nice how Fender made their rubber washer strap locks red. Yeah, I mean, exactly. That's how people get away with it. Glenn says, "Andrew, purple Strat sounds nice." And yeah, purple Strats are cool. And Andrew says, "Man, I love that purple Strat." They're not bad. They're not bad. Glad you're enjoying that, Andrew. That's cool. Michael says, "Did you see the Lucite Strat that had the stained glass window decal?" Yeah, her was playing it, right? Yeah, I just saw pictures of it. It looks pretty cool. Nice. Something different. Fender doing some good stuff. I like what they're doing, to be quite honest. Scott says, "I have a bandsaw. Bring over that thumb." Again, that is weird. But you know, you're helping out your fellow Chord Dave community member, Ryan. So I'm sure he's on his way. Some weird stuff gets brought up on this channel on a regular basis. I love it. Benny said, "I once played a gig with an injured right thumb. Painful." Yeah, that would be painful for sure. Ouch. Yeah. Good for you for getting through it. That's cool. Scott says, "Anyone new here, you'll have to subscribe. Wait for a minute before you can chat in the best chat on YouTube." Indeed, subscribing is important and chatting is important. If you are new, say hello, because some of these people are worth talking to, and the others are here too. But it's all good fun, and yeah, we'd like to get to know you. So definitely hit subscribe and say hello. Scott says, "I stood my toe once and couldn't blink without pain." That happens for sure. Yeah. Marcia says, "Dave has a thing with mics at this time of year." Did he have major mics thing last year too? Not really. I just didn't unmute myself on the streaming software for about 10 minutes. Yeah, you know, I was learning. I don't know how deep into the live streams that was. It was pretty deep. I should have known better at that point. But there you go. There you go. Yeah. Mike's was never my strong points. Glenn says, "I smashed my finger on my right hand yesterday, clearing branches away from our ice storm Thursday." Well, Glenn, you should know not to have ice storms. That's just what you should do. Daniel says, "A stub toe is a pain that can't be explained." Certainly, it just can't. There you go. Eddie says, "I've fallen and I can't get up." No, wait, I'm fine. Glad you're fine, Eddie. Glad to hear it. Ryan says, "Bunch of freeloaders on here." That's the internet, Ryan. It's all good. That's what we do. We're just here for the love and adoration. So yeah, so make sure you are subscribed. Guys, that is important too. The Butterfly Effect says hello all, and Butterfly Effect, good to see you. Happy end of year Chord Dave live celebration. Michael Tresca says, for Christmas, if I'm a good boy, I'll gift myself Dave's Patreon. He said if I subscribe for a year, he will lend me a CMT Flying V. I don't know. So many people are trying to offer me 1,600 euros for it, and apparently swearing on reverb is frowned upon. I don't know why, but yeah, I'm actually going to take the for sale ad down this week, so nobody tries to buy it anymore, because the offers I've gotten are ridiculous. And then I get messages from people asking me about the guitar, and they're not making official offers, but they're making, would you take this one? And it's always like 1,600. I don't know why, but it's always 1,600. So yeah, I'll lend it to you. You just have to come and collect it, and you can borrow it for 34 seconds. There you go. It's a good offer. Nellis here says, I remember Mel Farr. I'm from the Detroit area. I don't know what that is. So I presume it was a guy on TV or something. Scott says, nice, he was nuts. Does Chord Dave remind you of this guy, Scott? Is that why you asked that question? Benny says, I have no idea there was a connection between blinking and toe pain. It lives in a very strange world. Does Scott, so you never know. Micah, Scott says, it was that bad, Benny. There you go. Interesting. That sounds bad. All right. Micah says, guitar buying over Dave. Guitar buying should never, the video, it should be over. Yeah, it should be. Hit the lights. I mean, likes, says Eddie, which indeed. Micah says, I could never. I'm looking at a 2001 Japanese Epiphone LPC 80 today. Very cool. 2001 Les Paul custom. Nice. Can't go wrong with that. Scott says, I feel extremely lucky. I was able to buy 10 guitars this year. Well, that's pretty cool. I bought and sold quite a few. You saw some of them. You didn't see all of them, but you did see some of them. But yeah, had some good fun with guitars. There's been some good guitar releases this year, and some good availability compared to last year. It was a lot easier to get your hands on guitars, which has been pretty cool. Didn't manage to buy all the guitars I wanted, and have somehow managed to still have many guitars in my wish list that I haven't picked up. But we'll see how it goes. There's still 2 weeks left in the year. Daniel says, Scott, stop bragging. Yes, indeed. Eddie says, January 7th. Now that is some bullshit. Just kidding. We will miss you. Well, I'll miss you guys too, Eddie. It's like Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. I got better shit to do. I don't. I just need a bit of a break at the end of the year. It's been a long year. Outside of YouTube, inside of YouTube. It's just, just take a 2-week vacation. I'm not that I'm getting that from my day job. I'm only off for 3 days or something, 4 days. But still, it's fine. Nicholas S., good to see you, says Newman was the best. Yeah, he's one of my favorite actors of all time. Absolutely love him. He's in pretty much, I'd say, a good portion of my favorite movies of all time, like The Sting. Butch Cassidy and Sundance Kid is up there as well. So yeah, he's in some of my really top movies. My Knees Hurt is here. Good to see you, My Knees Hurt. Says, drinking Irish Death Ale today and making Irish stew and pot pie. Very cool. Very cool. I still haven't seen that Irish Death Ale for sale here. Maybe I'll have to head over stateside next year, which I'm looking at. NAM is the big focus. So hopefully that'll happen. We will see. We'll see, hopefully. But you never know. There might be other things that come along as well at the same time. Scott says, not bragging at all. They are not that great. Scott, every guitar is great. Even the ones that suck are great. So, but yeah, it's all good. Let me see. Glenn put in a link to his channel there. Says, I like black guitars. Dude, I didn't catch that. All right, fair enough. Ryan says the SV20 is awesome, head and cab or combo. But there you go. Glad to get a good review on that it's awesome. Very cool. So hopefully Ben's going to love it. Eddie Kidd says, I've been buying one guitar per year since 2019. Nothing wrong with that. That means you're up to three. 2024, up to four. It's not too bad. And it's a new year just around the corner. It's very, very cool. Cushman says, got me an ice cold rolling rock. Yeah, well, hey, cheers to you and the rolling rock. We'll have to get some around this area at some point, although I don't know when that's going to happen. Daniel says, it's Daniel, yeah. Daniel's just got a combo. It's cheaper with less things to deal with. Sorry, it was Daniel, not Ben, who got the SV20. Still, hope you enjoy it, Daniel, because, yeah. Ryan says, good enough for me. Scott says, I got an Epiphone hummingbird ukulele. It's the closest I could get to buying a hummingbird. Very cool. Hummingbirds are great. But yeah, ukulele, is it like an actual Epiphone hummingbird style ukulele? That's pretty cool. I haven't seen those. SB is here and says, evening guys, I just did the setup of my SG and the OG pickups sucked, sounding thin. It's a 2017 and I said F it and bought a used Duncan JB and a custom. I'll wire the JB out of phase. Very cool, my friend SB. Yeah, good to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're not on too far an adventure today, like you have been throughout the year, but that sounds like a good upgrade for yourself there. Ryan says, I like the head and cab if it's 1x12, but Marshall only makes a 2x12 now. Combo are easier. And Eddie Kidd says, Cushman NYC. Nice, those are good. I am rolling an old style Pilsner. Nothing wrong with an old style Pilsner for sure. SB says, I'll see if I sell or keep the cheap Gibson pickups. Yeah. The thing I would say is if you have any intention of selling the guitar down the road, keep them and then put them back in. But if you don't, then sell them. Why not? Or if they're not original, to the actual guitar, if somebody else put them in at some point, then feel free to sell them. That's all good. Let me see. Matt von Bosch says, I've bought a Faisley Tempest 90. It's a Tele style guitar, roasted maple with a P90 in the neck. Definitely great competition for the Harley Benton at 115. Well worth trying out the Faisley brand. Yeah, you're not the first person to say that, man. I do get, I've had a fair few people say to me to check it out. So it is on the list of things I want to check out at some point. I mean, £115 is not that much money for a Telecaster, so it's worth checking it out at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, a P90 in the neck sounds cool. So yeah, I will at some point. just gotta find a time and everything else. But we'll see what happens in January. Glenn says, Muddy, did you mean Dave in his pink tutu? That photo's been widely circulated, Glenn. All right, so you stop trying to sell it. All right, it's cool. Everyone's got it at this point. It's my Christmas card this year. SP says, I'm very pumped. They read 14.5k and 17.5k. Very nice. Yeah, hot as you can get around there. 30 fingers territory. So that's cool. So yeah, very, very nice. I'm sure it sounds great. A little bit jealous. Eddie Kidd says, oh no, the Geek Lord song. Yeah, indeed. I did poorly record it through my phone and then send it to myself. So, it's the highest technical audio quality you could possibly get. Here we go. Rocking. Anyways, I'm sure you saw, but I also just stole his logo and put 3 Chord Dave on it. So there you go, Geek Lord. Maybe I should just change it to Geek Lord, the Geek Lord Guitar Show, and start selling that on a t-shirt. But only once he opens his museum and we all go to the museum together. Just hand out free shirts at that point. Micah says, you are correct, good sir. Sunday the 18th, Christmas 1 week away. Awesome. That's great. Yeah, that's super cool. That you are in Sunday already. I can't believe that you would join us on a Sunday. But thank you for doing so. And yeah, enjoy the next week and Christmas and everything. So it's gonna be good, I'm sure. Manny's Hurt says, what is Pink Floyd's greatest song? I can't make a judgment call on that, but Let's hear what some people say. Michael says 2 words to jolt everyone: established titles. It's a great gag gift for Christmas if you didn't know, but don't be a sheep and call it a scam. So, all right, no more playing the music, I promise. No more. Glenn says that theme song, make it stop. And Marshall loves the soundbite. So there you go. Maybe we'll keep it up, keep playing it throughout the show. Yeah. What have we got? There's Dave throwing in some stuff here. Lord Muddy H2O. Indeed, Muddy H2O. He's already Lord. He's a naturally born Lord, though. He didn't need to buy an established title. He's just born into royalty as it is. Dave, have you tried the Epiphone strap locks? Nope. I literally use the ones off the beer bottles all the time. Always have. I think at some point I got a guitar accessories kit, probably for Christmas, and it had like picks and miscellaneous useless tools and a string winder and some strap locks that were not off a beer bottle, but I've never used any other kind. Because when I get these kind, I get a beer. So they're my favorites. Marcia says, I missed Muddy. We've all missed Muddy. The truth is, he was cheating on us with another guitar community. But we've reconciled. He's on his last chance. But this is his 17th last chance. So we'll see. But he's back, I think. And and hopefully he's doing well and everything's good. And he's on good behavior. I doubt it, but we'll see. Michael says, I don't do strap locks anymore. I either permanently attach a strap or use a locking strap. I've had strap locks fail on me, fool me once. They're definitely not infallible is the word I'm looking for, but they they do a job for sure. On the strap, what do you call them, the locking strap I have on the Flying V because it's more secure, and that's my most expensive guitar. So yeah, for sure I agree with you there. On the cheaper ones I don't mind strap locks. I think will be all right, but I get where you're coming from. Glenn says, I hear Geek Lord's new sponsor is going to be established glory holes. Dude, why didn't I think of that before last week and then approach him for sponsorship? That would have been fun. Michael says, gotta go, the wife is calling, boo. Well, be careful, Michael, and do well. It's Christmas time coming, so but glad you popped in, Michael. Good to see you, my friend, and take care. Have a good year. Have a good end of year, I should say. Benny says the Seymour Duncan custom is the Alnico 2 version, right? Where are each of them going? That's for SB. So yeah, let us know. Mar says, well, some of us are worth talking to. Yeah, most of you are worth talking to. It's all good. SB says Gibson SG, Benny. Yes, Alnico 2. Yep, very good. Very good. Nothing wrong with Alnico 2s. Good pickups. I like them. Doesn't Michael's wife know not to call during TCD? Michael's out in I think towards California, so it's early still. It's really he needs a Chord Dave show around 8 p.m. or so his time. That's something that we might look at in the new year. Who knows? Oh wait, no, that'd be like 6 a.m. my time. So yeah, or something, or 4 a.m. Yeah, that's not happening. Anyways, Glenn says wives know what wives know. Ooh, we'll say nothing. Marcia says, ouch, 1,600 for Dave's V. How much was Dave asking? So I did price the V not to sell, hoping nobody would buy it. So I priced it at 4,000 euros. But yes, I've had multiple offers at 1,600 or in or around like 1,650, that kind of price. Dave is asking Geek Lord price. I am. I listed it hoping it wouldn't sell. And it hasn't. So I'm quite happy with that, to be honest. That's, I actually thought it had sold one day and I kind of freaked out. But it hadn't. I sent somebody back an offer taking $50 off the price €50 off the price, and it expired 24 hours later without them responding. So there you go. Yeah, and just the email alert scared the living crap out of me. So it's not really for sale. And if anyone makes me an offer, and I'll reject it. Doesn't matter what they offer. And I'd just like to say, Muddy H2O, you're not to go and buy that guitar before I have time to take it offline, because I know you love it so much. But anyways, Ryan says 1600 for the V. Wow, that's good for reverb. I had a guy offer me a homemade pedal for a Pro Junior. Wow, and he wanted me to deliver to Buffalo. Yeah, that's the kind of things I've been getting. I had to see more Duncan pickups. I decided to sell them. And I listed them. I ended up selling them for like half the price I really wanted them for, because I was trying to make some space. But I was getting offers of like 99, 75. I think someone offered me. It's crazy offers. But yeah, Reverb is pretty bad place. People think they can get your stuff for nothing. Speaking of cool people, Muddy H2O with another super chat, sir. We've missed you around here, but thank you so much. It says, Dave and I will be starting a new endeavor in 2023 named Irrelevant Titles. You'll be able to purchase a square foot of Trogley's Museum for $4,000 plus reverb fees. Reserve your twat chip today. Yeah, I think that's a good one. And I think that's, I think that lots of people will sign up. I think, you've given away a lot of information about our endeavor right there, but we will have more coming on that in the near future. I would love to make a video taking the piss out of that. I really would. Maybe I will. Maybe we'll see what happens. I've got a green screen. We can make shit happen. Thanks, Muddy H2O. You know I love you. Benny says, SB, yes, I got that. Sorry, I meant which positions. I'm guessing the custom in the neck. So we'll find out in a second. Eddie Kidd says, I think I'm going to buy the J Mascis Blue Sparkle Telly. Don't have a Telly. It's 1930 in Canada in dollars for made in Mexico. But I have the Jazzmaster already. So but F it, I have the Jazzmaster already. So yeah, listen, it's a cool guitar. So I wouldn't think it'd be missing or you know, something you'd find as a disappointment, I'm sure. SB says, yes, exactly, custom neck, but out of phase to get that honk and the JB in the bridge. Still don't know what caps, since I'm going with two 500k pots. It's very simple, SG, not standard. Very cool. SG's some of the best guitars you can buy, which I really do like to point out on a very regular basis. DMAX says, how do you like the pickups on that new green Squire anniversary Telly? I think it sounds great. Yeah, I've literally no complaints with it. Sound wise, it just sounds like a Telly should. I still have these Tex-Mex Telecaster pickup made in Mexico pickups. I was like, if the pickups aren't great in that, I'll pop these in, but yeah, they sound great. I don't think I'm going to need to replace them now. I don't know, give it a month, I might change my mind on that, but I actually think it just sounds amazing. So yeah, I don't think I'm going to be changing anything about it, to be honest. So yeah, and I've decided, and it's not going to go back because of the couple of cosmetic things that were bugging me. I just love it too much. I think it's a great guitar. Muddy H2O says, anyone else feel like we're just watching a talking floating TCD head? I don't know why you're saying that, just because everything else around me is black, and I'm just wearing a black shirt jumper. It's, you know, I'll wear like a different color at some point in my life. Who knows when that will happen? But thanks for pointing it out, Muddy. I do appreciate it. Richard says, just have Dave sign the V and draw a picture on it. Tell Geek Lord is the first of 1,000 TCD Gibson special runs, and he will give Dave 10k for it. I think 12k is what I would want. And Muddy says, or has Dave grown a hunchback since I've been away? Yeah, that's my hunchback right there. It might be my chair. I don't know, but hey, maybe this will help. You can see the, oh no, even I forgot. I thought it was red, the back of the chair, but it's not. There's some red on it there. There you go. It doesn't help at all. Anyway, Glenn says all that black background is kind of blended. Hey, stop picking on me, Glenn. I'm just kidding, of course. Eddie Kidd says I like the effect. There you go, Eddie. Thank you so much. It looks like, thanks for somebody supporting me. I appreciate that. And Ryan says looks like Steve Jobs. If Steve Jobs could grow a beard, but apparently he couldn't. So, I mean, not a long one. Richard says if Dave had long sleeves, his head would just be floating. Oh, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Anyways. Cushman says floating head effect. Glenn thinks it's kind of scary. All right, well, there you go. It's been a fun run, but now it's just floating head talking about guitars. That's the new name of the channel. Scott says, yeah, Dave, it's exactly like the hummingbird shape, inlays, pickguard. It's electric too. Epiphone made an LP tenor and an LP soprano ukulele as well. Yeah, I saw the LP ones. I didn't see the hummingbird, so very cool. Scott, that's a nice little addition to a collection to have. Eddie Kidd says, what pedal is behind the beer? Do you mean this clone? It's a Chinese clone, which I still am afraid to plug in, guys. That's why you haven't seen a video on this yet. It's so that's what it is. That purple diamond was sent as part of a Christmas present that I have already opened. And also, this was a Christmas present last year as well. So I think it's on Amazon. Bluesy pedal, which is very bluesy. It won't focus on it. Yeah, that's the best you get. Anyways, that stays there with all the other crap that's in that part of the thing. But anyway, there you go, Eddie. Hope that answers that for you. Richard says clown behind the beer. Yeah, yes, my genuine clown that I got from AliExpress for $50. I got a good deal on it. It's a genuine one. It's clearly not, by the way, just in case anyone thinks that's real. Glenn says new band name, the Floating Heads. I'm sure that would work. It sounds good. I like it. Yeah. Just flat out stole it. What? Who stole what? You stole your ukulele? I think that's what it is. Marcia says that's the next limited edition shirt design. It could be, it could be. I'd have to do a little bit of tidying up graphic design wise, but you never know. Glenn says live tonight, the Floating Heads with a special guest, the established glory holes. Hey, listen, that's it's the wrong order. They're going to be the other way around. Ryan says, every time I hear the Geek Lord jingle, I instinctively want to start to turn my phone off. Oh, sorry, Ryan, I shouldn't. I'll try not to play it too much, I promise. I thought it was funny. What do you mean off a bottle? Please explain, please. Do you mean the strap locks thing, like this one? You just take this off the bottle here. It's a bit of a pain to get it off, but once you get it off, it's a strap lock. There you go. So that's what I mean. It's on that beer bottle. I think that's what you were asking. I'm not sure. Marsh said the shirt would need to have a flame top with movement. That would be interesting. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. Daniel says, remember, everyone slap the like button now, or I think that's dangerous. Yeah, exactly. Hit the like button. 35 likes with 37 watching is not too bad, but just check if you haven't hit that like button. Hit it 3 times now, and that'll make sure that your vote counts twice. But yeah, it'd be super cool. I think if we hit 50 likes today, then I'll wear a pink shirt on the next 3 Chord Dave Live, so that I'm not just a floating head. I have to actually have a very cool shirt coming, but it's not going to get here till January, so we'll see if I'm wearing that on the next 3 Chord Dave Live. Let me see. Eddie Kidd says, yes, Scott, red washer on the bottle can be used to stretch over the strap post. Indeed. Established glory holes. There's a brand we can get behind. Imagine we start that out as a joke. I say joke, I'm just being fun. But then imagine we started that out on the channel and it blew up and people, you know, jumped on it. I think that'd be cool. Chatter Yancey, he uses it about 7 times per show. I don't know who that is, but anyways, I think it's a fun. It's actually that, if we're still talking about the Geek Lord music, it's actually it's a sample. It was either in iMovie or the YouTube audio library at one point. It was one of the two, and I remember hearing it and being like, "Oh, that's an interesting one," and then realizing that dude had it, so wasn't worth my while using it, because it's from a much longer piece, which is actually a lot better than that little jingle-y part. Benny says, to SB a tribute. Anyway, JBs are known to perform well in SGs. Indeed, they are, yeah. SGs, SG tributes are great, as you will have seen in the video that went out today. I definitely recommend them. Let me see. So we've got Eddie says, I have way more strap locks than guitars. Yeah, me too, man. They're everywhere, and people walk in and are like, what's this thing? Is this off something important? I said, yeah, it's off a guitar somewhere. I might not have even bought the guitar yet. V Kelly 1975 says, Vinny in the house. Hi guys, I had a near miss with a Hercules wall hanger. I have 2 of them. They were bought holding some of my favorite guitars. Over time, the pot cheap. That is a near miss. If you had your good stuff hanging on the wall, Vinny, hope you're doing well. Hope they are good. Hope you saved them in time. But yeah, the wall hanger thing has always kind of scared me and intrigued me, and I want to do something about it. But it's fine. You know, my landlord won't let me hang them on the wall here, so I'll have to wait till I own the house and everything. Which, you know, crypto and everything. Scott says, only because I've recently seen Fender branded O-ring discs. Didn't put the two together until now. Yeah, Fender charge money for them. They're pretty much the same thing. Like side by side, they are very, very similar. Glenn says, I've been wanting an LP Junior. Anyone own one? And what do you think? Yeah, some people own one. I think if you reach out to Keith Richards, he'll tell you he's a big fan of them. He likes them a lot. But yeah, I haven't got one, but I like them a lot. I think they're very cool. And in my last video, I recommended a Harley Benton SC Junior, which is a pretty cool looking one as well. And that's only $200. So, but yeah, the Juniors are cool. And you never know. You might even see vintage ones at decent values as well, if you're interested in going down that road. Marcia says, why do so many people put things up on Reverb that they don't want to sell? Serious question. What's the deal with that? Well, with me, it's just a case of I would sell it for the price that other people are selling their versions of my guitar for, but I don't actually want to sell the guitar. But if someone gave me that price, it's for sale. So that's my answer to that question. It is for sale. I just don't want to sell it. But if someone sends my price, then it's sold and they have it, because it's more than double what I paid for it. It's actually not more. It's around double what I paid for it. But that's the pricing in those has gone way up since I bought mine. So just it would make financial sense to sell it and buy 3 more guitars. So that's it. So it's not that I don't intend to sell it. If someone pays the actual price, it's theirs and they'll get it. But yeah, it's just not excited to sell it would be the thing. And we'll be removing it from Reverb. But I've never come across anyone on Reverb who hasn't wanted to sell something that, like, once you agree to sell. I think what I would say is people don't want to sell for lowball prices. And so many people try to lowball prices. I saw Jonathan on Casino Guitars say at one point, look, if somebody's selling something and it's in good condition and it's what you want, just pay the price. And that's kind of what I do myself, unless there's a good valid reason, like, hey, I need to buy pickups to restore this back to how it was originally, so I'm going to give you an offer of less money, which I have done. I've told you guys about that. But I don't like, if it's all original and it's in good condition, just pay what they're asking, unless they're asking for stupid money. Like if they're trying to charge you 200 for an Epiphone that should cost 1,300, just tell them to fuck off and pay them and offer them the 1,300. Sorry, I shouldn't swear on YouTube, but that's how I feel about it. You know, if they're a flipper, professional flippers do exist, and yeah, just try and lowball those guys. But someone selling their guitars, they probably hate the fact that they're selling it, so that could be a reason too. You know, sometimes wives make people sell things that they don't want to sell. But anyway, Benny asks, Muddy, where do I sign up for for irrelevant titles? We'll be leaking that information very soon. Not releasing, leaking. Eddie Kidd says, yes, because of rig rundown, Fender caught on that everyone was using the washer off the beer bottles and decided to straight rip them off. You know, Fender aren't the worst for being rip-offs. They're not. They're not. But they're definitely up there. Vincent says, hi all, what's everyone's favorite gear? Favorite guitar or piece of gear of 2022? Great question, Vincent. Good to see you, by the way. Hope you're doing well. I'll have a little think on that, actually, because there's been some really good stuff, and that's a video I'm trying to put together for next week. So I know one of the things I'm happy to see is that we're getting an Adam Jones Epiphone, even though I'm not interested in it myself. I like that it's coming out the way it's coming out. In that people can get special edition ones, and there's then going to be like a regular version. I'm 99% convinced that that's what's happening, although no one has confirmed it for me yet. But people are still sending me things saying, yes, there is a just regular version coming out at the end of the art collection. So I don't know when it's going to be, but that would be my favorite when that comes out, because people want them. People are going crazy for them. I'm also pretty big fan of that Squire 40th anniversary series, having obviously picked up the Telecaster. I think they did some great stuff there. Yeah, Fender did some really good stuff. I'll have a think about it actually and come back to you, but yeah, interesting to know what other people think. If you aren't going to comment that on Geek Lore tonight, Muddy, can I? I think one of you should, for sure. Let me see. Scott says, my beer was always being in cans or twist cap bottles, so it took me a bit to clue in. Yeah, it's only that beer that does it, as far as I'm aware. And so if you can't find it in your local area, and even they do just regular bottles as well, not that type. So it's hard to find it in that bottle. But thankfully they sell them. They're only $2.50 a bottle, which is not too bad. Glenn says, my 2022 gear I'm most happy with is the 2011 Fender USA Special Black Stratocaster. That's interesting. It's interesting, Glenn. You know, good call. Eddie says, yeah, it's been it's an old style that not many beer companies use anymore, for sure. My beer is in cans also. There's nothing wrong with that. Beer comes in cans all over the place. Yeah, it's good. What pickup combo, Glenn? SSH, says Glenn to Scott. So there we go. Yeah, good stuff. Ryan says, I saw one of the Warm Audio Centavos today. It's huge size of 3 clones. There you go. And Daniel says, I don't understand the hype with clones. And Ryan says, they sound amazing. Yeah, they sound pretty good when you get them set up right. I think that's the key. Again, I've said this 1,000 times. I'm not really the pedal guy, but I seem to be. Here's how I'd put it. The first time I was aware of a pedal or what it did, it was I saw a video, and I think it was called the Rockstar's Secret Weapon or something like that, or the secret tool that makes like professional rock stars sound amazing, and it was a clone. And I was like, oh, that's cool. That's why I don't sound great. But it wasn't. It was just that I'm not as good as they are playing guitar. So yeah, I've never played through a real clone, so I can't tell you. That's a $50 rip off from AliExpress. But Daniel says the clones sounds very weak and basic to me. I don't know, man. I mean, I think they sound pretty good in question or in videos that I've heard where I know it's a clone. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know. But I'm not really a big pedal guy, so I'm not really qualified to answer that, to be quite honest. But I do think it sounds all right, to be honest. But that's just That's just my very unqualified opinion. Vinny Kelly, V Kelly, 1975 says, Vinny in the house. Just a quick reminder: if you own the Hercules wall hangers, I had had two of my favorite guitars, which happen to be expensive. The metal in the wall hangers is cheap Chinese pot metal. Yeah, it's Vinny. You have to be careful with them. Yeah, for sure, 100%. I'm hopefully your guitars are okay. He said part two, the metal had snapped, and if I hadn't noticed, my guitars would have been serious damage done. Sounds like you did manage to get there in time. So glad to hear that. That is cool. Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah, just check them basically for sure. Metal in the hangers, not good by the sounds of it. Benny says, Dave, I have a question for you. What's the sustain on the SG Special compared to a standard tom, bridge, and subtail? Compared to it, that's a good question. I find the sustain really good on it, but it's not something I focused on, so I'm not really sure. I find it good. I mean, I haven't noticed like it having bad sustain. So, it's just not something I focused on. But I'd have to get back to you on that, Benny. To be honest, I'd have to play around with it a bit and see. But just off the top of my head, I'm thinking it's pretty good in comparison, though, because I don't have an SG at the minute with a tune-o-matic on it. So comparing the two would be difficult. Or even another guitar. The only guitar I have with a tune-o-matic at the minute is the Flying V. So and that's very different in how and everything and every which way. So yeah, I'd say it would be different. It would be less, I'm sure, but yeah, off the top of my head, I wouldn't like to commit to a proper answer there. But we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out, and I'll let you know maybe in the next show. Donald DeMille, thank you so much for the super chat. Says, if Taylor Swift fans are Swifties, does that make us holies? Merry Christmas from Atlanta. Donald, thank you so much. That's super cool of you with the super chat. Yeah, I mean, guys, if you want to be called the holies, that's fine. I don't know whether to endorse that or not. It sounds good. Donald, thank you so much. Thanks for coming in, and best wishes to you for the holidays, of course. Let me see. Glenn says, does anybody know any updates on Sharon Osbourne's condition after being rushed to hospital? Didn't even hear that, to be honest. So I have no updates for you, unfortunately, but hope she's well. Glenn says, wall hangers scare me more than Geek Lord's theme music. I won't trigger it. I won't. I might. No, I won't. Yeah, wall hangers do scare me a little bit, to be honest. Scott says, I have a Hercules hanger needed because my V don't fit in any of my stands. Yeah, you got to get a special stand for it, for your V. And they tend to be the more expensive ones. So, what's the name of is it Zither? I think it's the name of the company that make them. There's a couple of companies. Gibson charge like $200, I think, for their one. This is pretty much the same. But it's they're pretty cool. But what they do is they put the kind of rubber and stuff on it that is not good for nitro because they're smart. It's a pain. So you got to make sure as well to protect it in some way. Just put some cotton on it or something. Nella says, a string swing is the only way to go for wall hangers. Yeah, I've heard they're good. Again, I've never used any of them, but it sounds like I should steer clear of the Hercules hanger though, just in case from Vinny's story there. Sounds pretty dangerous, but string swing I have heard good things about. Eddie says, I have one too, never had any issue. BioWall stud finder string swing is also great. Well, there you go. Yeah, and string swing is perfect. I use them for everything. That's from Ryan, so good votes on that. And thanks for the heads up on the Hercules wall hangers from Benny as well. Yeah, definitely, it's good. It's good to know these things going in, because look, if it works if it happens to one person, it's going to happen to others. So although you could get every like 98 people think that they're great, even when they're hung properly and everything. There's always that chance that one could go bad, and you got an expensive guitar or a not so expensive guitar that you love, it could be a very bad thing. So glad we got some information on that there. Muddy HO says, just be sure to wrap the string swing hook with cotton. Exactly. That is some good advice, finally, from Muddy H2O, because otherwise your guitar could end up just not being good. Eddie Kid says, or mount a back plate to the wall and screw the hangers to that. There we go. Ryan says, string swing are nitro safe. Good. Yeah, I've never held one, so I'm not sure, but I know the one that I had my Flying Beyond wasn't, and it was expensive, so I was like it was such an easy fix for them. But anyway, they didn't do it. Eddie says to Muddy HO, why cotton? Can you explain? Thanks. And I'm sure he will. Because Muddy says to Ryan, incorrect, unfortunately, I have white nitro Strat. That was nasty stand rash from sitting in a string swing rack for less than a month. You should take better care of your guitar, sir. Yeah, it's the it's whatever it is on the actual stand that the thing the guitar connects to is usually this like a rubber or some kind of plastic or something that's not nitro safe, is what Muddy's talking about, I believe. Micah says, yeah, there's a dude here in New Zealand trying to sell an Epiphone / snake pit for 5,000 New Zealand dollars. I think that's 3,000 euro. I tried to get it for 1,500. He flipped shit. Yeah, Micah, I mean, I think it's a reasonable offer, to be honest with you, for an Epiphone snake pit. But people do try to get crazy money for stuff as well. The other thing is there's a lot of fake snake pit guitars, not just the one Trogley had. There's all kinds of them. And AliExpress or DHgate, one of those was selling Epiphone ones until recently as well. So he's probably trying to flip a fake. That's every time I see him, I'm just like, that's a fake. Even though it might not be. Muddy HO says to Eddie, to prevent the stand rash if the guitar is nitro. And Ryan says, really? Well, I've never had an issue. I noticed they have different materials on some, like a suede type. Suede type would be good. All right, yeah, that'd work. Eddie says, all right, of course. Yeah, indeed. And what we got? Do we think the Adam Jones Epi will hold their value? Most Epis don't hold value. Good question. There's a few things. So they're clearly, Epiphone / Gibson are clearly trying to make Epiphones more collectible and more of an investment worthy instrument. And that's coming along with the price increases. So my understanding is that there's going to be more of these limited editions where there's X amount of them, 800, for example, of these Adam Jones. Like, imagine you're the person who buys 6 of the art collection guitars and you're not able to buy the 7th one. You're going to be pretty pissed and want to buy the next one. So that person will be willing to pay over the odds for that Epiphone. Whether they'll go much beyond 1,300, I don't know, but I think they will hold their value. I know right now they're quite expensive. The people are looking for around 2,000. I've seen them up to 3,000. They're not worth that. So it's that simple. And I've seen people on Epiphone groups online saying, oh, they are worth it because there's only 800 of them and they're just like the Gibson. They're definitely closer to the Gibson than we've seen Epiphones be in the past, but you can buy Gibsons for that money. So why not just buy the Gibson? Will it hold the value? I don't know. Some of the Bonamassa Epiphones go for big money, go for over $2,000. So it's possible, and it's definitely the goal of Epiphone to be more collectible over the next few years. With that one, I guess we'll just have to wait and see. I think it's a case of I wouldn't pay that much for an Epiphone. I definitely wouldn't pay more for an Epiphone than 1,300. I think that is a huge money. Like, yeah, I mean, you can buy a new Gibson for less than that. So it just seems crazy to me. And I know it has a nicer case, and it's a finish that some people really like that isn't available in other Les Pauls and stuff. And it's a Les Paul custom. You're not getting a Les Paul custom for that kind of money, but Yeah, I don't know. I think, look, if you're into it, you're into it. That's cool. And, you know, Cesar digs it. He's got about 17 of them in his office, apparently. So that's great. And if he wants to come on the show, the offer is still open. He can do that, but he has so far declined to respond to me. But yeah, anyway, listen, here's the thing, right? Actually, if you, in terms of value for an Epiphone, if you think it's worth it, then it's worth it. And I just don't think anyone's going to wake up tomorrow morning and be like, you know what, that Epiphone is worth 2,200 to me instead of buying a Gibson. So, not that Gibsons are great, by the way. Recently, I haven't found them to be as good as they used to be, but you know, some people do think they're worth it, so that's all that matters. But I can't imagine, say, if you miss out on the actual release of all seven, and then you have to pay 2 grand for each one, like if you want a full set, and you've paid 14 grand for those Epiphones. Someone's gonna do it. What he says, yeah, Ryan, I actually spoke to the owner about it. He acknowledged that not all nitro is safe on their stands. If you read the fine print on their website, it's there as well. Wow. I mean, you think they would put it not in the fine print because that is quite dangerous for people who have guitars that have nitro on them. Crazy. Daniel says to Micah, you offering him 1,500 was too much. That's possibly. Well, Micah, that's crazy. Indeed, that is a crazy one. Money says String Swing is not responsible for marking a guitar provided the following: displaying a white Gibson or NOS Fender custom without consulting String Swing. You have to consult them. Yeah, no thanks. No thanks. Manisart says jalapenos probably don't exist in Ireland, but they do exist in my Irish stew. I mean, we have them. You can buy them, but they yeah, I haven't seen them in many Irish stews, to be honest with you. But you know, enjoy the stew. It sounds spicy. Michael says to Daniel, yeah. Micah says to Daniel, yeah, I didn't know it was when I first started collecting, but since then I've learned a lot more. He'd been trying to sell for almost 2 years and he's turned on to 5,000. Wow. Yeah, yeah, that happens. Sometimes people are like, no, I want my 5 grand. Um, I've seen some crazy things on Reverb, and like if I see something I want and it's a crazy price, I'll offer them what it's genuinely worth. Sometimes people don't come back. You know, I do a lot of research on how much a guitar is actually worth before I make an offer on it. And as I said, I try not to lowball because I know, like me, a lot of the time, people are emotionally attached to the guitars they're selling. I did try to lowball Geek Lord one time though, and he didn't respond to me, and he sold the guitar a couple of days later. That's a fun story. I think I told you guys about it. Scott says, when it comes to stand rash, what material on the stand should you avoid, and vice versa? What rubber or foam material should you look out for buying a stand? I don't know what, I think just any kind of rubber. If you're getting nitro, you got to be very careful. I always look for some kind of fabric or like suede. I think Ryan mentioned that's going to be good for you, I think, anyway. What he says, I now use medical cloth wrap on all the string swing stands, hangers, etc. That's a pretty good. It's a pretty good tip. In fact, it is a tip Muddy H2O gave me when I bought my Flying V, so I do appreciate it, sir. Keeping it safe since early 2022. Glenn says, I offered Dave property in Ireland with a lordship for his V and he told me to go to hell. He's got Geek Lord crazy with those prices. Did I mention it came with a lordship? I mean, I'm already a lord. It's the thing that I didn't tell you guys. Yeah, I'm very highly connected to the High King of Ireland back in the day. So that makes me a lord 4 times removed. Glenn says, I wrapped my stands in painter's tape at the contact points. That'll probably work as well. Anything that's, not going to make the nitro react will work. Daniel says, Micah, that's one, what is it? There's one even one reverb for 900 right now. But there you go. Yeah, that seems like a more reasonable price for an Epiphone. Snake Pit. Those are nice guitars though. I do like them. They're different. Ryan says, I'll do the same. Not worth finding out the hard way. Yeah, that's exactly. It's not worth it. And for the cost of some medical tape, cotton tape, whatever it is, a cloth wrap. There we go. It's definitely worth doing. Let me see. V Kelly 1975 says, Scott, I have several Hercules stands on the floor and I've never had any trouble with them till now. Yeah, sometimes it's just that one time that gets you though. What have we got here? Al says, I have a Gibson LP special with nitro finish hanging on the guitar swing Phil McKnight promoted last year. I've had no problem. Can't remember who manufactured it. That's good. Yeah, it's definitely always good when you have no problems. But yeah, it sounds good. You can generally trust someone like Phil, I think, to promote something and say, just be careful of this thing. But yeah, hey, maybe that's something we can look into, just doing a, what do you call it, like a public information piece for folks who are hanging their guitars. Micah says to Daniel, what currency is that? If it's USD, that comes to 1400 odd in my currency in New Zealand dollars. So 1400 is better than 5,000 for sure. Al says, I also have a stand-up Hercules, which I've not a problem with. Will be good for a Flying V. Yeah, getting a Flying V stand is the trick, because they're longer and just a bit awkward to stand. But yeah, that sounds like a cool one. I only have the one that it fits on, to be honest. Daniel says, my guitar stands are in the corners in my room. Yeah, because they're not going to fall off the wall if they're in the corner. So that's a pretty smart move. Yeah, I always fear that I'll go out someday, come back, all my guitars will be on the wall or on the floor if I hang them on the wall. So I know someday I'll ease into it. One on the wall, then two, like 3 months later. See how we go. Glenn says, I got a new Hercules stand. I did an unboxing on my channel. Please stop by and see. No shameless plugs here. Indeed, you can go and watch Glenn's channel if you like. But I don't know. Has he been loyal to the show lately? Let's see. I'm just kidding. Go and give Glenn a follow on his channel, because he's a cool guy and his video is very good, and I enjoyed it. So keep it up, Glenn. You'll be taking over my YouTube space in no time, I am sure. Some more super chats. One from Glenn Bailey. Thank you, Glenn. Thanks so much. Says, that floating head is freaking me out, man. Here's for the different color shirt fund. Thanks, Glenn. I will do my best over Christmas to find a different colored shirt. We'll see what happens. And Muddy with another super chat says, unfortunately, Dave gave me a rash that no medical tape would have prevented. Better safe and sorry, Ryan. Don't be bringing Ryan into this. And that you had that rash before I ever knew you. So don't be lying. But thank you, sir, for the super chat, which is graciously received. Anyways, just for clarity, Muddy H2 and I live in very different parts of the world, and despite his attempts to get me to move to his location, I have resisted so far. But we'll see what 2023 holds. My Knees Hurt says, I made a 4-guitar holding rack stand and put office chair wheels on it. It's killer. I found some black fabric with dark grey music note on it and put it on a stand to protect the guitar. It's very cool. That sounds very good. My Knees Hurt, yeah. We'd love to see pictures of it if you can get them over to us. You can use the email address in the description of all the videos to send me over something like that. That'd be cool. Daniel says, it's in dollars. That's for the Snake Pit guitar. Vincent says, are you heading to the Motley Crue gig next summer? Any other gigs on the horizon? I don't know, Vincent, to be honest. I haven't bought tickets. I don't know if they're sold out or whatever. I would say they're probably not. But yeah, I'm waiting to see what's coming next year. I haven't got any tickets. I don't know where I'm going to be. I think there's like a lot of travel coming up next year, so I'm hoping to see some bands play, but we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, because going to gigs is great and it's good crack. So we'll see. Motley Crue might be a fun one if I can snag a ticket to it. Just to see if they're still around at that point. I don't know. Yeah, it'd be nice to see John Five live. So there you go. Al says, my floor rack, I've cut and glued microfiber on it. I might try replacing with medical cloth. That sounds, microfiber should do the job as well, Al, I think. Yeah, I think that should do, but medical tape is easier to like kind of wrap around and just make it. Anyway, if it works for you, do it. I would recommend it for sure. Glenn says, I remember when I was a kid just leaning our guitars against the amp and running to catch them before they hit the floor. That was our stance. Yeah, I've done that. Sometimes didn't even know they were falling over till I heard that bang and that sound. You know that sound of the guitar hitting the floor. There you go. Mighty H2O says to Al, I find the medical tape easier to wrap. Indeed. A little bit. Scott says, I only put guitars on my stand when I'm playing and I need to lay down for a moment. When I'm done playing, they come back in the cases and up in the rack. Well, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I leave guitars lying around in different rooms in their stands. But yeah, it's I mean, I think everyone has that has a different way of dealing with their excess guitars lying around. Glenn says, hit the like button, peoples. 50 likes and Dave will change his shirt so the fleeting head thing stops freaking me out. No, 65 likes, Glenn, and I'll think about it. I'll promise you I'm thinking about it for 30 whole seconds. Eddie Kid says, my guitars are in a 7 guitar floor stand. 3 slots are open. When it's full, I'm done, plus an acoustic. There you go. That sounds good. Absolutely. Nella says, yeah, the nitro finish guitars need to go back in the case. I have a rack for the cases. That is a good way of protecting them, to be quite honest with you. At least you know you're good there. Scott says, Dave, how is the AJ artwork applied to the guitars? Will it fade and shrink under the finish? What's your thoughts on long-term effects, seeing how we haven't seen this before from Epiphone? I don't know how they're applying it, to be honest with you. And as it's a poly finish, I don't think it should change too much over time. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, as it's a reproduction, I think it must be a transfer or something that they're putting on it rather than some kind of paint they're actually doing on each one. So yeah, I'd imagine it's some sort of transfer. It should be fine. I'm sure they've tested it enough. I believe they had a couple of runs. They were like, these aren't good, so let's do them again. And again, like, it's the first time really we've seen Epiphone do something like this, especially this new Epiphone that they're trying to make into a fancy guitar company. So I think time will tell. But they must be pretty confident, because otherwise they wouldn't be charging this kind of money. Because if they were charging this kind of money and they didn't know for sure that the guitars were going to stay in tip-top condition, then they'd be pretty foolish, because they'd lose their reputation very quickly that they're trying to build for themselves. So yeah, I think they'll probably end up looking really good over time, but they'll still have that same problem of having that antique silver burst, which it's you either love it or hate it, I think. So or just generally have I don't really care for it, which is what I have. So it's one of those 3 options. Let me see. Buddy H2O says to Eddie, you don't have to lie here. And Eddie says, okay, I can't predict the future. I mean, if you could, that'd be pretty sweet. But yeah, it's all, when that gas bites, nothing you can do. Glenn says, good question, Scott. Those Les Pauls with the anniversary decal of Les after time started to shrink and they look crap. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Scott Brower's here. It's good to see you. Scott says, this collectible nonsense or hype gets on my nerves. Guitars are tools for making music, and in my opinion, fetishizing them is silly. Yeah, that's essentially what they are, is they're instruments for making music. That's all they should be. But they are more because people pay 50 grand for reproductions of guitars, and it's a whole thing. So yeah, I don't. There's a lot of stuff going on in the guitar world right now that I don't understand, and that I think is a bit crazy. But I get your point, Scott. Absolutely. Like every time I buy a guitar, I intend to play it, and I do play it. I've never bought a guitar and I'm like, that's an investment. Don't touch it for 10 years and see if it's worth a load of money. And I don't really think I would be able to do that. Maybe if I had like millions and millions of bucks and ponies, I would be able to do it. So, I could buy a burst or something and be like, it's cool. I'll sell that when I retire. But I don't, so so I can't. But yeah, at the end of the day, guitars should be bought to be played. They're instruments that you should use. Um, that's what it is. That's what it is. So I do agree with you a lot, with a lot of what you're saying there. But there are other people who all they buy their guitars for is collecting. So that's a book, and Gibson slash Epiphone are very much buying into that market. Money HO says Geek Lord is the king of no balls. Sorry, I mean low ball. Oh man. Eddie says, Dave, do you drink your beer warm or is it cold? Is it commonplace to drink warm beer warm in Ireland, or is it an old thing? No, beer is drank cold, Eddie. It gets warmer during the show, but that's because I spend a lot of time talking in the show because you guys are typing and I have to read it out. So otherwise, if I was not talking so much, I would be drinking a lot more. If we had another channel where I just drink beer all the time, that would happen. But no, it's still quite. It's not freezing cold. It's not very cold, but it's still not warm. So, but thanks. It has been quite chilled, quite well chilled before the show. So yeah, it hasn't heated up yet. It's all good. But no, we don't drink warm beer here. Um, not to start any arguments, but I believe more room temperature beer is more of a thing in the UK, I believe, but not here in Ireland. And again, not in all cases either. So um, maybe it's just because I was Irish, but I have had some warm beer in the UK at times. They might have just given me whatever. We're sitting on the bar for half an hour. I don't know. Anyway, it's a whole other thing. Richard says, Fluff has a great series on his channel called Ridiculous Reverb Listings. One of my favorite things on YouTube. I've seen that a few times. Yeah, it's quite enjoyable. The amount of nonsense that you see on Reverb is pretty crazy, actually. I was thinking along the lines of it'd be fun to make a show just highlighting these crazy listings on Reverb. And then Fluff did it, and it was like, well, I'm not going to do it any better than that. So it's all good. So yeah, super glad to see him getting the success he deserves, very much so. Mark says, I'm still here, by the way. My hands are full, though. Hard to type with full hands. It is. That's all I need to say. It is. Money Search says, Eddie, warm beer is cellar temps. It's not like room temp warm. My beer is room temp, but I never turn the heat on. There you go. John Broadus here says, I forgot it's Saturday again. Good to see you, John. Thanks for dropping in. Glad you got here. And I hope you're doing well. Money Search says, cheap American lager should be served very cold. Most beer should be served very cold, for sure. John says, question for the acoustic guitarist. What's your favorite brand of acoustic guitar strings? That's a good question. Grant says, Muddy, did Dave just say meet me at the hole in 2023? No, but that's that's not what. Ben says, save your money. Was that in reference to something I said? You're probably right. I would agree. Richard says, there are plenty of places to keep a guitar. Would you put your stand in the middle of a hall? Lean your guitar against an amp? Why would you take a chance of putting it on the wall? Yeah. You'd have to be 100% secure in your work. I would be afraid of it. But lots of people do it. It looks cool. It's a great decoration for sure. Muddy says, beware, Dave is the whole. This is getting weird. The new folks around here are getting scared away. I haven't seen any new folks today. And I'm putting I'm putting Muddy and Glenn as the reason as to why. Uh, yes, just be aware of any holes that you're near. That's all I'm going to say there. Glenn says, John, I like the Dario. I think they're called warm wood. That's interesting. Daniel says, Richard, my amp is very good stand too. Yeah, I like to keep my guitars on the floor, like in their stands. That works for me, because I'm afraid. Uh, but yeah, a couple of them are still in cases. Still go back in their cases. Scott says, what's the strangest guitars ever made from mainstream brands? It's got to be the Epiphone Airstream, man. That to me is the weirdest one. The Gibson map as well is quite strange. And then you got all those car ones that Geek Lord got obsessed with for a while. But I think the Airstream Epiphone is batshit, to be honest. Ryan says, I've definitely had to run to save a guitar from an amp before. Part of learning. It's definitely part of the it's the part of being a young guitarist, I believe. Richard says, I'm happy for your amp, Daniel, but most aren't, and I'm sure you get the point. Let's don't split hairs. Well, it's all good. John says, the sound of your guitar makes falling off the stand is twack. That's one of them. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Glenn says, Muddy, you know what they say, a shot of Dave on a Saturday gets you a shot of penicillin on a Monday. Guys, there's no need to lower the tone. It's already low enough. Money Search says, amp makes great stand for Flying V guitars. And it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it's not a bad solution there. Warm wood, thanks, Glenn, says John. Sometimes you guys and your jokes. Still thinking about that penicillin one. Richard said, how does an amp make a good stand for a V? Well, the V is like more stable, say compared to a Les Paul leaning against an amp, less likely to lean over, because it's got 2 feet or 2 legs. Eddie says, I had an Epiphone do a faceplant and it was ruined. Had a telly that did the same thing and it sounded better. Swear. Wish I didn't sell it. There you go. Yes. Imagine that. Yeah. Do you think, oh crap, and then it sounds better? That's very cool. Ryan says, flip the V upside down. You could do that, I suppose. Yeah. John says, have a happy glory hole holiday season. Indeed, John. Yeah. Hope you have a great holiday season. Indeed. And yeah, good wishes to you for the holidays. Ryan says, Scott, sounds like words of a drummer. Ooh, those fighting words. Wayne McConnell says, hi gang, greetings from snowy Colonia, BC. God, I love guitars. End of story. Nothing better has been said so far, Wayne. Well done. Yeah, I love guitars too, man. They're the best. Yeah, guitars, they're great. I kind of wish that there wasn't so much of a divide in the guitar world. But it's all fun. Hey, I like this brand. You suck because you like that brand. But it's all good, everyone, we got to learn to live together at some point, the guitar community. We will, maybe. Eddie Kidd says, also should not have sold my Joan Jett Gibson back in 2011. Yeah, man, Joan Jett is the coolest. So that would have been a cool one to have in the collection, though, for sure. Ryan says, just because you don't care about aesthetics or collecting doesn't make it wrong. That's a good point. Collecting isn't wrong in any way. And aesthetics, I think we all, in our own special way, like aesthetics. It might not be the same way for everybody, is the thing. Benny Larson says, there was a time when people would drink heated beer in Denmark, especially during the winter. That's an interesting one. Heated beer. I never thought of that. Interesting. But I've never been to Denmark. I should maybe hop on over at some point. Seems like a nice place. John says, Geek Lord is an elf who escaped from Santa's workshop to get rich selling guitars. I mean, if you could get rich selling guitars, I should give it a shot. But yeah, as I mentioned on the reverb thing, it doesn't work for me. John says, Fluff, ridiculous listing is 420 fun. Very good. Um, John, doxing isn't cool. Oh, yeah, there we go. There. Good stuff, Benny. Wayne says, just refinished an old Jap electric guitar, metallic blue with automotive clear. It looks like glass now. Can't wait to assemble it tomorrow. Wayne, that sounds amazing. So I'd love to see that. If you feel like sharing with it, you can use the email as well below. And when we're back for Chord Dave Live in January, I will be happy to show everyone. It sounds very cool. Love a metallic blue. I love a metallic blue on a guitar. So yeah, let us know how it goes when you assemble it. That'd be cool. Glenn says to John, I misspoke. Ernie Ball Earthwood acoustic strings. You see, trying to pretend you don't like Ernie Balls. I don't know why. John says to Dave, tell all the new people we're mostly harmless. I try, John. I try, but you know, it's hard to get that message across sometimes. Let me see. Vincent says Fluff has your V up for his next episode on Reverb Ridiculous Listings. That'd be fun. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure he'd find quite a lot ridiculous with it, especially the big brass plate. But and the price, I find the price ridiculous. That's why I wouldn't pay $4,000 for it. But that's the price that it's up for. Interesting. You know that. You could be joking or you could be 100% serious on that, and I would believe both. So yeah, let me know if he does put it in an episode. That'd be cool. Because I don't watch his videos all the time, but when I do see him, I do enjoy him. He's a good guy. Could definitely be true, to be honest. Thanks, Vincent. Glenn says, the reason the new people are freaking out, it's that floating head, man. It's damn scary. Hey, listen. It's not the first time. It's been like this before. Butterfly Effect says, I think Dave will look good in a Hawaiian shirt. It's an interesting theory. We may never know the answer to that, Butterfly. So thanks for the suggestion. Siri's trying to get me to look for what do you call it? Hawaiian shirts. No thanks. Eddie says, my dad and I were in Portadown in the mid 80s. Went to a pub where the old dude sitting at the bar told my dad that no one drinks cold beer here. I don't know. That stuck out in my memory. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, the 80s were a weird time in Ireland, you know. It's very strange. John says, odds are that if your guitar neck breaks, it's going to be a Les Paul. I mean, you know, that can happen. John says, I've never broke a Fender Strat neck. Well, they do break, just not as often. Daniel says, even if you break a Fender's neck, you can just bolt on another one. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Glenn says, they say properly fixed broken LP headstock are stronger and sound better. They're definitely stronger if they're repaired better. Or well, like they should be. Joan Jett and Pat Benatar still rock, says John. I agree. Yeah, both of those are always in playlists that I put together. Very good stuff there. Eddie Kidd says Earthwoods sound great, but break easily for my picking style. Glenn says definitely John, Joan, and Pat rock. Here you go. And Eddie Kidd says Elixir. Yeah, why not? Why not Elixir? It's a Saturday, sure. It's getting out of control. Scott says Earthwood strings are what I prefer on my acoustics. Sounds like a good recommendation there. John says, I heard Pat Benatar on the radio the other day and I thought, damn, I miss her. Pat Benatar always is rocked. Yeah, that's true. Micah says, oh, I just remembered. So Dave, I bought a 96 Jag Stang and ended up selling it because it wasn't much of me. I got 1250. Is that decent for it? It was played all around the country, aged and a hell of a lot. 1250 for a Jag Stang. I wouldn't give you that much for a Jag Stang. So yeah, I think that like it just depends, man. I mean, it's 96. I mean, honestly, other folks will have to tell you whether it was a good price or not. I'm not sure. If somebody offered me a Jag Stang for $12.50, I would be like, no, you're good. That's way too much. So I think you probably got a good deal. From my point of view, I think you got a good part of that deal. But there you go. I'm just not a Jag Stang fan at all. I don't know why. I just don't like them. But hey, if it wasn't for you though, it's good to move them on, stuff like that. That's always a good move. But yeah, I think it's a good price. Well, let's see what other folks think. John says Dave needs a rainbow hippie tie-dye t-shirts. Yeah, I mean, that could work. Maybe 2023 is the year when I bring back tie-dye to the channel. Daniel says warm beer is a European thing because a lot of their beer is really thick and hard to drink when it's cold. Not where I've been, but there you go. Mostly it's just cold. But there you go. John says, thanks, Eddie. And Eddie says, chill tonight, so I got to go for a bit. If you catch my drift, well, that's all right, Eddie. Yeah, catching your drift, man. Take it easy. Glenn says, what's your opinions on L7? Those ladies kicked ass. I have none of either. Ryan says, I went to one pub in Crumlin years ago. They only had warm beer because people kept stealing the copper refrigeration lines. I mean, you were in Crumlin, so yeah, that's definitely why that was happening. I've only ever been to Crumlin once. There you go. Linda Marks says, warm beer, not in Germany. Correct. No, not that I've ever experienced in Germany. So I was only ever in Germany in the airport. So coming back home. Let me see. John says, I invented my own gauge set for my acoustic guitars. I bought a 12 pack and used 9, 13, 16, 26, 36, 45. Great for serious bending. Hey, John, if that works for you, man, that is very cool. Yeah, very interesting indeed. Benny says, L7 rocks. It does. I mean, they do. I mean, yes, I agree. Glenn says, interesting, John. Yeah, for your own gauge. Indeed, it is interesting. It's very cool. And German beer rules, says Eddie Kidd, which is something I agree with. German beer is always very good. As far as I'm aware, there's a rule or a law in Germany where no chemicals are allowed to be put in beer, and that's why German beer is better than most beers in the world. I don't know if that's true. Somebody told me that while I was drinking German beer, and I believed it forever. So, so please don't ruin that. But I think that's true. I think it's true. And Glenn says, hello to Linda. John says it makes bending like an electric guitar. Very good, John. That's a very interesting gauge you've come up with there, to be quite honest. Anne says, thanks for a great show, Dave. Everyone have a happy Christmas or holiday season. See you next year. Thanks, Anne. Thanks so much for dropping in. It's always cool to see you, and nice of you to drop in tonight. Have a great one. Holiday, Christmas, whatever it is you're doing. Take care and be well. Glenn says, check them out, Dave, but watch out. They don't play Pelham Blue guitars. Yeah, they do. You can hear the difference in a Pelham Blue guitar on a record. It's when it sounds cool. That's a Pelham Blue guitar. Linda says, true, it's a German purity rule. Deutsches Reinheitsgebot. Sorry for not speaking German very well, but I'm glad it's true. Because I never actually looked into it, but that is true. In that case, awesome, because German beer is some of the best you can get, and I love it. So there you go. Eddie Kid says, you are right, Dave. Fantastic. I like being right. It's a good rare situation when that happens. Donald DeMille says they drink warm beer in the UK because someone stole their ice recipe and they don't know how to make it. I didn't say that. That was Donald. Good man, Donald. That's a nice one. Scott says, what did you ask Santa Claus for, Dave? What did I ask Santa for? I don't know if I can reveal that. Was it one of those things where if you reveal it before Christmas, you don't get it? Yeah, not much. When it comes to Christmas wishes, really, it's like books and things like that. That's what I'm interested in. And yeah, so I'll buy my own guitars and such, but you know what I care about more is the time spent with people over Christmas more than stuff. Christmas is great. I get to see people I don't see the rest of the time, or I get to talk with people I don't talk to the rest of the year or haven't talked to in a long time, that kind of thing. So that's all, just to talk to people, spend time with people. That's what I love about it. And like for the next 2 Saturdays, that's what I'll do. I'll hang out with people. I might even go to a New Year's Eve party. Who knows? Get social and stuff. Because you may as well do these things. But yeah, it's good. Got a lot of plans for 2023. So um, Santa Claus is being let off the hook with just a few books or something, maybe a few German beers now that it's been brought up in the conversation tonight. But yeah, still, Donald, I'm going to use that joke over Christmas so many times. I love it. Thanks, man. That's going to go down well, completely. Let me see what else we've got. Donald says, wicked joke, mate. Yeah, indeed. What do you think of the Tim Henson acoustic guitar? Haven't really seen it. Or looked into it too much. For sure. Eddie says, Dave, we have the same amount of beer left in the glass. Oh, all right. I forgot there was beer left in the glass. There we go. Beer all gone. Thanks, Eddie. Cheers. Scott says, I only want socks. All right. Oops, Epiphone sticker going all over. If you want socks, make sure you get some of these. These are socks that were part of a birthday present. So they haven't been worn yet, so they're brand new. But what's going on here? Something was going on there. Anyways, make sure you get some of those socks for yourself. Good Christmas movies. Home Alone is still up there as one of the best. I was watching it the other day. Still a great movie. Yeah, it's Die Hard, I suppose. It's just another good one. And yeah, I mean, I still haven't watched Planes, Trains, and Automobiles this year, so I'll have to get around to that at some point over the vacation. But yeah, good stuff. On the socks, I can't believe I remember they were still there. Richard says, do bog feet need special socks? Good question. Indeed. Muddy H2O says, his Christmas wish was for me to return. Wish granted. Oh, well, thanks, Muddy H2O. You know I love you. Just almost as much as I love everyone else. But yeah, it is good to have you back. And I have missed you. So, I was making Christmas wishes about you. Also looking up houses in your neighborhood to be stalkerish, but hey, that's fine. Scott says, Trapped in Paradise is great. You don't need different socks, just more socks. Very good. Me too. Socks rule. There you go. John says, I used to drink Ghost beer for the rubber tips for my guitar straps. Yes, indeed, John. We had a demonstration of taking them off the bottle today on the show. Marcia says, socks rule. Al says, favorite Christmas movie is Die Hard. Like most of us, Al, I think. Yeah, you have to watch it at Christmas. It's always on TV. Here in Ireland, I don't know if this is the same everywhere else, but Indiana Jones is always on TV at Christmas as well. I think it's on the BBC. But it's like Indiana Jones always on at Christmas. You kind of have to watch it at Christmas. The Great Escape is another one that's always on at Christmas. I love that movie. It's great. I really love old movies and old music and just vintage guitar, old stuff. I love old stuff. I can say something, get myself in a lot of trouble, but I won't. Any kid says, awesome, I have socks with Jim Beam bottles and guitars. I like Jim Beam bottles, I do. Glenn says, those are socks that rock. They're not bad, I have to say. As socks go, they're good. Daniel says they're only wanting about 600 for his acoustic. Sounds like a good deal for a signature guitar. Yeah, that sounds like a good deal. 600 is not too bad. John Brad says Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. It's a great movie. I love it so much. Favorite scene, the Efrant at the airport. Yeah, that's a great movie. One of the best. I did see something about someone trying to remake it with a female cast, because of course that's how you remake movies. Don't need, I mean, look, you can update it these days with new technology and stuff like that, but you know what's going to happen. They're going to get in a Tesla and it's going to go crazy and drive itself them all over the place and then crash. It's going to be terrible. So we shouldn't get that. Please don't remake that movie. It's great as it is. Anyway, Clinton says, Dave, stalking you, Muddy. Better stock up on the penicillin. It's actually the other way around. Muddy H2O has been sending me listings, real estate listings in his town. He wants me to open a bar and call it the Glory Hole, I believe is the plan. And we could have Chord Dave live members performing every Saturday night and live stream it on the channel. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. John says, I watch Groundhog Day. Yeah, over and over again. That's the way to do it. Ryan has the correct answer to the Father Ted Christmas special. If you haven't seen that, guys, the Father Ted Christmas special, look it up on YouTube or whatever. It is so funny. It's honestly one of the best the best shows that you can watch over Christmas. Is really, really funny. Linda Mark says, my guilty Christmas movie pleasure is Little Lord Fauntleroy 80s version with Alec Guinness. Very interesting, yeah. Linda Marks also says Planes, Trains is good. It is. It's not really Christmas though, is it? It's like it's Thanksgiving, so I guess they're only about a month away from each other, but still, technically, it's not a Christmas movie, but it's still a very good movie. I love it. Micah says, I watched Labyrinth and the never-ending story at Christmas. Don't know why, just do. I think it's the same with Indiana Jones here. Is like, why is it on a Christmas? I think it's not a Christmas movie, but it's always on a Christmas. Daniel says the best Christmas movie is The Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, that could also be describing this show. I'm just kidding, of course. But no, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, lots of folks love that. Al says, Hollywood is starved creatively, nothing good coming out. Having insight into the business, Al, having worked there for a bit, the problem is not creativity. The problem is money. The problem is that remakes and all that sort of stuff make money. If they stopped making money, they wouldn't make them anymore. But people keep going to them, and sequels and remakes will keep getting made ahead of more interesting creative stuff. It's just the way it is. People, what can happen is if someone green lights a movie, says, yeah, we're going to do this like a completely original thing, and it bombs, that person loses their job. So they don't want to do it, because they could greenlight something now and it's 2 years later they lose their job over it. So they play it safe more times than not. It's a pain for those who work there too, especially when you got something good and you're trying to get it made. But this is what happens. Scott says, I watch the Muppets Family Christmas every year, the one with Sesame Street and Fraggle Rock characters too. And Muppets is always good around Christmas. It's always fun. And by the way, Al, you're 100% right. Nothing good is coming out. That is not it. That is not in any way short of factual. John says, Christmas Story is a must. Ralphie, you'll shoot your eye out. I've never actually seen the Christmas Story. Planes, Trains is a Thanksgiving movie, not a Christmas movie. Yes, yeah, you're right, Vincent, 100%. It is, but still a good one. Still a good one. Yeah, it's Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's so close to Christmas, isn't it? It's a bit strange because we don't have anything in between here in Ireland, of course. Al says, my nephew actually bought a leg lamp, it's the same as in the movie. It's sitting in the front window. Very cool. Eddie says, SCTV is pure gold. So is Kids in the Hall. Kids in the Hall and the Young Ones. Some of them are what I know. Or stuff that I know about. Eddie Kidd says, John Candy is a Canadian legend. Indeed, John Candy, a very much worldwide legend. I think, indeed. Scott says, Adventures in Babysitting was a good New Year's Eve movie. Interesting. I didn't... I've seen it. I know I've seen it. I didn't ever relate it to like a New Year's Eve movie in terms of something you would watch on New Year's Eve, of course. Absolutely. John Candy. He's very good. Very, very good. Very funny. From what I see on Valiant Renegade, movies are losing money. Too big of a budget. Yeah. They do a bit of creative accounting. It's quite smart because if a movie makes money on paper, all the big names have to get more money. They all get percentage points on the back of the profits and stuff. So technically, they try and make movies not make money as much as possible. With some creative accounting, as they put it, it's very complicated and it's a scummy industry. But it's fun. Most of the time, until it isn't. But anyway, Mar says, I'm trying to wrap something for my niece and nephews here. I can't get them anything super extravagant, but I found something I can afford that their OCD mom will be okay with. No mess, noise, etc. Hard as hell to wrap. That doesn't sound like it's appropriate. No mess, no noise. That's not right. I'm sure they'll love it, Marcia. It sounds great. Yeah, OCD moms definitely need to be taken care of as well. Daniel says, Hollywood cares more about how the movie looks now than good writing. You could get me started. We'd be here all night. We could be here till Christmas. Glenn says, I only watch movies recommended by Carl's movie show. That's a good way, because he watches them. Although sometimes he goes down a route of trying to find the worst movie. I think he's got one coming out next week, the worst Christmas movie ever made. He's got some good ones on the list, so definitely worth checking out. And thanks, Glenn. We do appreciate you subscribing to Carl's channel. He makes good videos. He makes really good videos, way better than my videos. So he should have more subscribers than me. So guys, just I'll throw his link in again. That's for Carl's movie channel. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. It'll make his day to hit like 700 by Christmas. And then I can be like, you owe me a favor, bro. So Eddie says, does anyone remember a Canadian show, Bizarre? Never heard of it. Benny says, Thanksgiving movies often end up as Christmas movies in countries that don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That's a good one. Yeah, it is 100%. Shout out to Benny Hill also. Al loved Benny Hill. Yeah, indeed. It was always fun back in the day. John says, search YouTube for John Candy and SCTV 3D House of Stewardesses. That already sounds amazing. So, let me see. Scott says, I want to watch that Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie, but I know I'll feel dirty afterwards. You will, but you got to watch it at the same time. D-Mac says, Bizarre was classic John Briner and Super Dave Osborne. He sounds like a good character. Because it's probably shit. It is shit, Scott, but you will love it at the same time. It's a Christmas movie. You're allowed to watch shit movies at Christmas. It's good. Scott, just take a shower afterwards. There's a sequel that's even worse. Arnold's not in. There's no big names in it, I believe. I think this is one of those where like they made a sequel. They're like, what celebrity can we get in it? Let's get Larry the Cable Guy. He's in most of those, like, no one else wants to be in it sequels. Marcia says, in my house, we had a tradition to play all the naughty video Hanukkah songs, videos from SNL and South Park, etc. That's a good one, yeah, because they make some good stuff. South Park especially had some good stuff, and SNL. Like SNL, I've never been like a regular watcher, but I do like catching up on some YouTube stuff. They do make some very funny stuff. As says Super Dave and Saskatchewan seal skin bindings on everything. I don't know what's going on there. Ryan says, Carl is definitely one of the best reviewers I've seen. Thanks for that, Ryan. That's cool. We'll pass that on to him. I'll be seeing him shortly, so I will let him know. And Glenn says, I know Ryan's cute goth goes and subscribe to Carl's channel. Thanks, Glenn. It's good that you're aware of other people's subscriptions. Anyways, it's all good. Ryan says, I'm sure she did. There was probably a vodka coupon involved. Always. Well, guys, listen, thanks so much. Listen, it's been a huge year. I can't say enough about how much you guys have helped me get through the year, how important 3 Chord Dave Live has been to me at certain times. I've had a bit of a rough year in certain aspects, and there's been times when I really haven't wanted to do 3 Chord Dave Live, but I've come online anyway, and by the time I finished, I felt a lot better. So it's meant a lot to me. You guys mean a lot to me, and I hope you guys know that. Videos have been slower coming out in the last few months. Again, there's stuff going on in the background. I'm trying to get out as many as I can. I will get out more over the next coming weeks and months. My plan for 2023 is to have the channel get stratospheric to go up. I'm going to get some really cool stuff going in the new year. So keep an eye out. It's going to be great. Thanks so much to everybody. Thanks to the guys with the super chats, Muddy, Donald, Glenn, to Ryan for being a super Patreon person, and to Murphy's Flab, who was on Patreon for a bit as well. To all you guys who like the videos, support me by subscribing and sharing and commenting here and coming to join us and having fun. It means so much. It really does. So I hope you all have a great Christmas and a great end of your year. We will see you again in the end of January. There will be more 3 Chord Dave Lives, or 3 Chord Dave videos. 3 Chord Dave Lives, I might pop up. You never know if I get a chance here and there. So watch out for notifications. You might see some lives. But I just wanted to let you know again, look, you mean so much to me. I love you all. You're all great. All of you are the best. And I'll see you again in 2023 for the lives, definitely. Take care, guys. Be well and happy holidays.